It is Monday and it is March 18th and it is a busy, busy day. It is the launch of Ultimate Portion Fix. So you guys get to go through your very first launch today. And I know as a new coach, you're just sort of starting to get your bearings in this whole thing. And so I just want to share with you the power of when Beachbody launches products, right? So the cool part is they create opportunities for us at least 3 or 4 times a year for product launches, right? And it's an opportunity for us to sort of have a big bump in our customer sales. And so, one of the things that I've learned over the past 7 years of being a coach is that you always want to maximize a launch. Like you always want to create a strategy. You always want to know going into, anytime Beachbody announces a new program is coming, you always want to have a strategy for it because this is an opportunity for you to, number one, resell to your current customers and your downline. It is an opportunity for you to also acquire new people that maybe weren't interested in products in the past, but now all of a sudden are interested in this new product. And so for me, I really I'm like very much so, my brain is very marketing focused and strategic, and I really do create sort of a timeline. And every single time sorry, my phone is dinging at us. Every single time a product launches, this is what happens to me. And especially as a new coach, here's sort of what happened to me. So when I would launch, like for example, I think the 21 Day Fix was one of the very first programs that Beachbody launched. And I, on the day that it went live, I bought it. I started talking about it. And I didn't have a whole lot of people that purchased, way back then. I was still kind of small and growing my business. But I said to myself, I'm going to act as if I'm in a test group, right? Like I'm going to treat this launch and this program as if Beachbody has asked me to journal my progress every single step of the way. And so I would, and I still do this, right? I'll take my before photos and my measurements and I'll talk about how excited I am about this new program. And I'm very public about sharing my goals. And so every single day I document the journey, day one through however many days, right, of this program. So over the next, 7 to 8 weeks, you have an opportunity to show people this program, but to also go through the 21 Day Fix workouts, then to go through the 21 Day Fix Extreme and do them all live. And so that really backs you up right to the summertime. And so if you're somebody that's, just starting out, or even if you're, already have been doing workouts, I would acquire people every step of the way. So I would say, okay, I'm in the test group. I'm going to go 100%. I'm going to focus on this and I'm going to talk about it every day. And I'm going to give people an opportunity to, vote in my polls or send me information, like a message if they're interested in it. And so I would share day 1 to day 7. I would do my side-by-sides, right? And I would do a post, a write-up, about how I was feeling at the end of the first week. And every single week, it was this predictable routine. Every either Saturday or Sunday night, I would have a progress update. And people would not only see me physically doing it because I would be sharing it, but they were seeing the results. They were seeing little samples of the kinds of foods that I was eating, some recipes. I would show my meal planning and my grocery shopping. And so they were basically what I call a reality TV show of my 21 Day Fix journey. And so every week I would acquire a new customer, a new person that was interested because they were watching me. And I was able to show people that it worked because they were watching my story. And so when you're doing that, people begin to kind of connect to a part of your story. Maybe it's your really busy life, right? Maybe it's the fact that you work a full-time job and you work 14 hours a day and they see you getting up in the morning and doing this workout and packing your food. And, they see that you're really busy, but they see that you're doing it. Or maybe you have kids and they see that you're not only working out and eating healthy, but you're raising kids and you're integrating what you're learning into your kids' lives. And so they relate to maybe that part about being a parent. So there's all these different pieces that people relate to as you're going through these fitness programs. And the more consistent you are at talking about it, the more you're going to build that customer base and those sales along the way. So if you're getting frustrated by the fact that, you're 2 weeks into coaching or you're 1 day into the Ultimate Portion Fix launch and you didn't have a list of people that were ready to sign up, don't get frustrated by that, right? Don't get discouraged if you're not, like, in your mind, you had this vision of all these people that were going to sign up and you don't have them yet. That does not mean that people aren't lurking in the darkness. Like, they really do watch, and you're going to, like, seriously, you're going to come back to me because you're going to be consistent. You're going to be here a year from now, and a year from now, you're going to be like, dang, you were so right. I am so glad that I didn't give up and I didn't quit, because now I've got this great business that's thriving because I continue to share my story, because I made myself the success story and people got to watch that story happen. All right. And so that's really important. It's very, very important for you guys to understand that your journey, your ability to share that, and that longevity is actually what's going to bring you about the most success. All right. So keep that in mind. So today I did this in my personally sponsored coach page. So for those of you that aren't my personally sponsored coaches, I went live in there today and I basically said, all right, today's the day. It's Ultimate Portion Fix launch day. What are we going to do? Right? So what are the things we're going to do? Number one, it's really easy to get overwhelmed with the magnitude of all the things in your mind you want to do. It's really easy. Remember at the beginning of our very first call, if we go back, 2 weeks ago, remember when we talked about your why and your vision and where you wanted to be a year from now. And I had you kind of think through, like, where do you want to be? And then that was big, right? That was super big and it was really complex. And for a lot of people, this is what people do. They shut down, right? They shut down when they start to think about, oh my gosh, how am I gonna, like, get enough Success Club points, I'm going to make it onto this trip? Or how am I going to, make that the $2,000 a week, right? Or, we start to get in our head about how big the goal is that we want to accomplish. And what I want to say to you guys is this: we just need to focus on taking little baby steps. All right. So if you're sitting here saying to yourself, oh my gosh, I need to get, 3 people into my Ultimate Portion Fix group, then what do we tend to do? We tend to go, oh my gosh, I don't have a group. Oh my gosh, what if I put this post out there and somebody says they're interested and I don't know how to tell them what the Ultimate Portion Fix is? And if I don't know how to, okay, and then you spend all of this mental energy thinking about the what ifs, and you actually spend the same amount of time thinking about it as it would if you actually just did something. All right. And so your one side of it, doing an action, is going to bring you closer to getting results. Doing nothing just stresses you out and you make $0. And so today I want to say, like, let's focus on the one things that we can do, right? What's the next step? So if you're on this call right now and you have done nothing so far for Ultimate Portion Fix, right? Or maybe you're on this call and you're like, I haven't even launched my business yet, right? I've been doing nothing but overthinking and watching trainings and psyching myself out for the entire month and I'm nowhere, right? And we just have to simply say, what's the first step? What is the first step? So let's just get our minds right. We know that I'm running an Ultimate Portion Fix group. And if you're my coach, you're always allowed to invite to that. And it's going to start on the 25th of March, right? It's going to run for 7 weeks. It's going to run through the whole round of 21 Day Fix. It's going to run through the whole round of 21 Day Fix Extreme. People have to buy the Ultimate Portion Fix kit. They have to be on Shakeology. I just had somebody today tell me that they drink Isogenics. Can they still be in my challenge group? We're going to address that today. I'm going to give you an answer for that today. Okay. And so, you have to commit to the tools. We talked about this last week. Like, the tools are important. So they're going to buy the challenge pack. They're going to go into the group and you can add your people in there. I'm totally fine with it. But if you have more than 8 people, you should really be running your own group. And Beachbody actually gives you, and I want to make sure that I show you where you can get all the challenge group guides too. So remind me today to show you that. All right. So number one, we have to know what we're inviting to before we go out and take action. Okay, I'm inviting to Melanie's group. Starts on the 25th. She's got a Facebook group. Perfect. I know what the requirements are. Good. Next thing I need to do, I need to make a post. You got to make a post. So how many of you have containers at your house right now? Containers? Get those suckers out and take a stinking picture with them. All right. Go to the window where it's light. Whatever you want to do, I want you to take a picture with those containers, all right? And I want you then to make a post. And that post, let's not overthink it, but let's talk about something in your mind that those containers have triggered. Is it like, gosh, I was overeating, You know, like I was overeating protein. I was overeating fruits and vegetables. My portions were way too big. No wonder I wasn't losing weight, right? I was overeating good food. Maybe that's your story. Maybe, you know, your story is like, I was eating from the bottom of the food list. I wasn't even paying attention to the quality of the nutrition. Like, what are some of the aha moments you have had through your journey in just the past few weeks? I want you to talk about that. I just want you to make a very simple post saying, I'm so excited. Today's a big day, right? And here is why. I finally have these amazing tools that are not only going to help you get to your goal weight, but they're going to help you understand why. And so I want you to say a little bit about the fact that, you know, this is who I was before. This is something the containers have taught me. And now I have this group and I'm asking you to join, because by the time we're done with this group in 7 weeks, we will be right up to summer and you're going to be feeling confident and you're going to be feeling in control of your nutrition and ready to take on the summer, right? And have your best summer yet. And so post, done, overthink it. That's step number 1. Step number 2, let's make some stories about it. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but if you bought your Ultimate Portion Fix kit, go and like take a screenshot of that. Put that in your stories. Just took the first step in my new journey, right? Or, you know, record you talking a little bit, talking about why you're excited about it. Use some of the stories, examples that I've given you, you know, in the team page or that I've put on my own stories. You're more than welcome to use those. So let's do a story, but let's include a poll where we say, hey, does this pique your interest? Would you like more information? Yes or no, or yes, or absolutely, right? You could see if you go to my Instagram last night, the stories I did are exactly what I'm telling you to do today. All right. So, and nothing I'm telling you are not things I've already have not done myself. The third thing is send an email. I know that some of you on here right now, you've been a coach for a while, or you have a list of people that you've talked to already. All right. And so all you need to do is craft an email letting people know that there's a new program launching today, right? That has launched today. And maybe it's sort of like your post that you're going to make on social media, but maybe a little lengthier. And you just say to people like, if you're interested, email me back and I can give you the details. All right. I've given you some examples of some of the emails that I've sent, so you can use those as a jumping off point as well. Anytime you send an email, you know, anytime you do a post, there's not like, I don't want you just to sell and say, I have a product, here's how you buy it. But there has to be an element of a connection, connecting to the person on the other side of the screen. So tell them just 3 sentences about why you're excited about this, right? And make it personal. Like, what about this program really interests you and makes you excited? And then you go into, this is what I have to offer. The next thing is, if you talk to people on Messenger and you're direct messaging people on Instagram, get in their inbox today. There's a new program that launched today. I know last month wasn't a good time, or maybe you never heard back from them. Let's do our follow-ups. So that's another step that we can do today. And then if you haven't done an unboxing video yet of you taking out all your stuff and talking about it, that's what I want you to do next. Super easy. It's not hard. I just gave you 5 things. So that should be your list, right? So number 1, you're going to make your post. As soon as we're done with this call, that post should go up. Number 2, you're going to make stories about it with a poll. Number 3, you're going to send an email. Number 4, you're going to go invite every single person you have ever talked to and new ones about it. And the people that like that post or view your stories, you're going to send them a direct message. Then you're going to do that unboxing. If you bought it 2 weeks ago as a coach and you haven't talked about it yet, that's going to be the next step. All right. So, this is kind of your game plan. This is not hard to do, but I think sometimes we just overcomplicate the process. We really, really overcomplicate the process. And if you've done nothing for Ultimate Portion Fix so far, you're going to start watching the videos, and I want you to make notes about the things you're learning, right? So this is what I do. When I listen to videos, I'm like, oh, people definitely don't know, right, that they should eat from the smaller plate instead of the bigger plate. That's a good post. I'm going to get a big plate and a small plate, and I'm going to take a picture of it, and then I'm going to we put food in the containers when I do dinner tonight, and I'm going to show people like why they should use the smaller plate, or, you know, water, you know, how to get your water in every day if you're watching that part of the videos. And, you know, so whatever you're learning, make that your social media post for the day, so that you're constantly just educating your audience, which builds very much natural trust. All right, so that's what I want you to do. And then there's this element of being very purposeful about it, and driving people, like always having that call to action, especially in your stories every single day. And today is a good day for a call to action, because even in your grid, like if you look at my post today, it was a clear call to action. Visit my bio, fill out the link to, you know, apply to have a spot in my Ultimate Portion Fix group. Like, it was direct. Today is a good direct call to action post. All right, so that's what I want everybody to work on today. All right, so anything on that before I kind of move on to the next? Any questions about that? My husband made me my shake today. I don't know what he put in it. I don't like it at all. He put some kind of sweet fruit in there. I don't like it. I don't like fruit in my shake. It makes it too sweet. I don't know what he did. But I'm very thankful that he made me a shake. All right, moving on. So the next thing that I want to talk to you about is supporting your challengers in your challenge group. All right, so this is really key. How many of you do have some customers that have signed up already that you're working with? People, I see a couple of hands there. So, you know, when I think about my challenge group, I'm like, this is it, right? I've delivered them the product they've purchased from me. Now I really want to make sure that I'm giving them the best support possible. So when somebody signs up, make sure that, especially because you only have a few customers, you know, initially, you know, make sure you have a process. And this was something I had to learn. You know, I would add them into the challenge group, right? And then I would say to people, let me know when you get your challenge back, because I wanted to make sure I knew when people's products arrived at their door, so that I could say, okay, the first thing I want you to do is like go open Beachbody On Demand and check it all out, right? Or, you know, here's how you can actually go look at the program manual and the overview. You know, get people into the challenge group and let them know, like, every single day there's going to be a post of the day from me or from Melanie. And this is what I expect for you to do. You're going to read the post of the day, and every evening there will be an accountability check-in. I want to make sure that you're commenting every day, so that I know that you're, you know, doing your part, and tag me. Especially if you're in my group, just have them tag you on their daily update so you can go in and you can interact with them. I myself, especially as a new coach, right? You want to make sure you're present in the challenge group too. So if you're going to tell your challengers they have to log in every day, I should really see you logging in every single day too, right? As if you're a challenger, you should always lead by example. Because if you want people to do something, you want to lead as if you're doing it too. If you're tracking your food on the Nutrition Plus app, snap a picture of that. You can throw that into the challenge group. If you're using your food tracker, like, you're really going to see me with Ultimate Portion Fix, you're going to see me start taking a picture of my tracker and posting that in the group. So I am going to be doing this right alongside of them, and they're going to get to see how it works. Another thing I do is I schedule a day every single week where I go back through and I private message my customers. And so maybe, you know, it used to be Thursdays for me. So every Thursday I would send a private message on Facebook to all of my customers. And I would just say, hey, it's Thursday. You know, I do my check-ins on Thursday. Want to see how you're doing. You know, we're 4 days into the accountability group. How are you doing with your workouts? How's your nutrition going? Do you have any questions for me? Is there anything I can help you with? Very simple. I just get in the habit of every Thursday sending that reminder, that sort of that check-in, because sometimes people don't like to post in challenge groups. All right. You may know that. For those of you that have been around for a while, some people are private. Like Helen and I, we're going to share our videos. We're going to be dancing in there. Like, it's like, we're not afraid to go in and like do some selfies, right? But some people are like, no, I can't participate in a challenge group if you're going to make me take a picture of myself. And me, I used to think at the beginning, oh my gosh, like Jamie, she's not posting at all. I bet you she fell off the wagon. Like she's already quit. But when I send her a message, she's like, I'm doing fine. I read everything, but I don't like to post. So now instead of assuming that somebody's quit or isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, now I just know that person doesn't like to post in the group, but they're reading everything. And so that one-off message really allows me to make sure I've got that relationship built with that person. So that's one of the things that I do too. I really pay attention and I make a list of the things that people are struggling with. So if on day one, right, or on day two, everybody wakes up and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sore, I can't move, you better believe I'm going to jump in there and say, okay, here's some tips for you guys. Sore is okay. Here's some ways to prevent muscle soreness, right? Here's some things you can do. Don't skip your workout. I know the weekend's coming, like anticipate, you guys know, because most of you you're going through this process. So coming to the weekend, okay, I should really give them some tips for how to stay on track during the weekends, or on Monday morning, I want them to be okay if they had a bad weekend. I don't want them to feel like I'm disappointed. I want them to know that I'm their coach and I'm here to mentor them no matter what. So it's like, we can't just take a script and copy and paste every single day and that's it. We can't just post and then never come back and check into the group again. All right. So we have to interact, right? And we have to make sure that we're feeling their vibe. And so the last thing I'm going to say about running really good challenge groups is when somebody comments, you should always comment back. Okay. Because if Helen's checking in every single day and I stop commenting on her post, she may eventually say, well, I guess Melanie doesn't care if I check in or not, so I'm just not going to do it, right? So if we want people to keep doing a behavior, we need to reward them, and that's by our comments. Our comments affirm that they're doing a good job, that we're proud of them, and they're on the right track, okay? So you want to make sure that and I write it, in my planner, it actually says respond to all messages or respond to all comments in challenge group, right? So I make sure every day I check that off the box because I want to make sure those people know that I care about them. All right. So it can be morning, it can be night. You can tell people I'm only going to be able to check in at this time. I'll answer all of your questions. Like it's okay, to just sit down and do it once a day or, morning and evening. It shouldn't take you more than 10 or 15 minutes to hop in and answer all those comments. Okay. All right. So, and then the last thing I'll say about this is if you're in my challenge group, do not let me do the work for you. All right. If you're going to put people in my group, they signed up with you to be their coach, right? And I know I'm doing the daily post, but you can't just shove them in there and be like, Melanie will take care of it, right? Or anybody that you're working with. If you want people to be happy with your support, you want to make sure you're a part of that too. So that's something that I do see happens with people a lot. So I want to make sure that everybody knows that too. All right. Now, if you don't have any challengers at all, it's okay. Here's what we're going to do. That happened to be my very first month that I was a coach. I advertised, I posted, I did everything for 14 days, and I had 0 people that signed up, all right? And instead of saying, I'm a failure, I suck, maybe I'm not meant to be a coach, I should probably quit, I said to myself, I'm going to pretend like I nailed this challenge group and I filled up all the spots, and I'm going to say, oh my gosh, it was, my first group was such a big hit that I had to open up a second accountability group. My next group's going to start on this date. Here's going to be the name of it. And I have 5 spots. I'm only taking 5 people for this group. Nobody knows. Nobody is going to know that you sucked wind the first 3 weeks unless you tell them. So just don't tell them. All right. So just set another date for your challenge group and let's get to work. Okay. And that's just the way we do it. We brush it off. We don't let it bother us. We don't get down about it. We're building a business. Not everything's going to go perfect. And we got to learn to roll with the punches because quitting is not going to get us to where we want to be. So that's what you do. And so since my group doesn't start till the 25th, you still have some time. So let's work on that at this point. Or you can set your next challenge group for April 1st if you want to run your own group on your own. So that's going to be your next step. And that could be exactly what I just talked about with the ultimate portion fix today. You could just use that strategy that I went through with you. Okay, let me just pause for 1 second. I'm going to answer these questions that are here, and then I really want to talk about objections and the conversations that you guys are having. All right, could I do an ultimate portion fix group even though I just started phase 2? Yep, Victoria. So I don't know if you noticed, like I'm doing 80-day obsession right now. That's the workout program that I'm doing and talking about on social media. So I'm not going to do the 21-day fix workouts with my challengers because that's not what program I'm doing. And portion fix is the nutrition, right? And you can do any workout program with it. So yes, Beachbody gave us these 21-day fix. I don't feel the need to do the exact same thing, and I try not to limit people to that either. So that's perfectly fine. All right, do we actually post about containers showing them or just keep that stuff? So Jamie, today I did. Today I wanted people to, I wanted that to be the thing because I know that today was the day. I didn't show, I didn't actually show the books. I didn't show a bag of Shakeology, but I did put those containers out because I did want it to kind of stop the scroll in that sense today. But it's also if you look at my grid on Instagram and on my like page, you can actually, it's a decent picture. I went into my kitchen and I set up that tripod and I took a good photo, right? It wasn't a dark and grainy photo. And so I want you guys to think about it. We want to make sure that it catches people's attention. So if it's a sun-shining day today, because it is here in Pittsburgh, go to the window and have your camera kind of facing you and kind of stage it and set it up and take a good picture. And then really ask yourself when you take that photo, would I stop and read this if I was on Instagram? Or am I just doing it to do it and get it over with? All right. If it's dark and dingy, go outside. So take it that next step and say, how do I catch people's attention? So you just be a little creative about it. All right. So that's kind of the next thing. Okay. Questions about it so far? No? All right. So things that you guys are struggling with, this is your time. And I want to hear it all. There's no bad question. There is nothing that is stupid that you might be struggling with. So if you've got a situation that you're in right now, I want to hear it in the comments, right? So I want you to tell me what are the things you're hearing from other people that is actually you just don't know how to handle these conversations or you don't know how to respond. So this is a good time to ask it. And while you're doing that, I just want to say to you guys is that, for me, I always get objections and objections don't bother me anymore. So, and this is the way I look at it. And this came out of reading a personal development book. Sarah Robbins is in network marketing. She does Roden and Fields. She's pretty high up there. She's written a book. It's called How to Rock Your Network Marketing Business. And she used an example in there of a server at a restaurant that was serving coffee to the customers, right? And so, she goes around with her coffee pot and she goes, would you like some coffee? One person says, yes, please. And the other person says, no, thank you. And when the person says, no, thank you, she doesn't skip a beat. She goes, no problem, on to the next. So when you're serving coffee to your potential customers and they tell you they're not interested, no thank you, I want you to simply say to yourself, maybe they just don't want coffee today. Maybe, just maybe, they're going to the gym and they really like it. Maybe they're doing something that's working for them. Maybe they don't have the money right now. Maybe, their spouse won't let them buy it, right? But maybe their car just broke down. And I want you to say to yourself, some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? And so whenever somebody says, no, thank you, I'm already doing something that I love, my response, and I never want to close the door on the conversation, all right? So when somebody says, no, thank you, I'm like, no problem. If you ever change your mind, or if you ever are curious about the nutrition, if you decide your workouts are great, but you'd like to know a little bit more about mastering your nutrition, the door is always open. Feel free to send me a message and ask me questions anytime. I always end with that. I want people to know that I'm always going to be here for them. Whenever they're ready, I am here to help them with whatever they need. All right. When somebody says to me, I want to be a part of your group, but that's too expensive, or wow, that's really expensive. I get that all the time. And I say, you know what? And I always relate. So this is a big part of objection handling, is relating first. So when somebody says, So they say it's really expensive. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I thought it was expensive too at first, but I will tell you that when you break it down, you get a whole year of Beachbody workouts, right? So for you get access to the entire workout library plus all the nutrition guides. You get a month supply of Shakeology, which is about $4 a serving. And then you get access to the accountability group, which I feel like is the secret sauce. And this is exactly how I type it. What I'm saying is how I would type it out, right? I'm like, that's a secret sauce. I know I couldn't have succeeded if it wasn't for having that accountability group to keep me on track. And I say, you know, it might seem like a lot of upfront cost, but in the long run, it's actually very affordable. And, you know, the one-time investment, you have 30 days to decide whether you love it or you don't. If you don't, you can return your challenge pack for a full refund, but I know you're going to love it. And then we can go from there about the future months and what you want to do, right? And so that's typically the way that I say it. If somebody says, I can't afford it right now, I usually say to them, well, I know how much you really want to do this, so I'll give you a tip. When I was trying to be able to save up for my challenge pack, I started cutting coupons and I started taking $10 every single week or 20 and putting it aside for my challenge pack. And in about 3 weeks, I had the money to be able to buy it. You know, I looked for ways, I stopped eating out, I started finding ways that I could conserve money. Another thing I always say is, yeah, I thought Shakeology was expensive at first too, but when I add up all the times I would go through the drive-through for, you know, lunches or dinners or all the Starbucks coffees that I used to get, those lattes, I realized I was spending way more than $4 a meal anyways. And now I could at least have something that was helping to get me to my goals, right? And so, you know, for me, it was just a perspective shift. And it took me giving it 30 days to realize that it really did work for me too. So those are some of my answers, right? But I always try to, like you see, I related with a story. I didn't spout nutrition facts at them. I didn't say there's over 60 plus superfoods in there and it can improve your digestion and it has pre and probiotics. People don't give a shit about that stuff, right? I mean, they may if they're into nutrition and they're like nutrition junkies. But most normal people just want to know that you know, they just want to know how it worked for you. Like I didn't have that mid-afternoon crash after my kids went down for a nap when I started drinking Shakeology for lunch. Okay. I stopped eating all my kids' chicken nuggets because I had Shakeology for lunch, right? So simple things like we overcomplicate it. Just relate to people, just relate to them. All right. Another thing here, let me go through and read some of these objections and what you guys said. Okay. So I'm nervous that the food listed in the book isn't enough to choose from for meals and the challengers will have a hard time or get bored with the same foods. The 80-day obsession is so much more food. Okay. So Tony, when it comes to that, here's the cool part is it's not just those foods on that list, right? So it's any green container, any vegetable can go in there. So pull from the Beachbody blog, pull from the Fix8 cookbook, pull from, you know, all of the Nutrition Plus recipes. Like you can give people tons of examples, right? Tons of examples. So, and the other thing is, don't overwhelm your customers with too many recipes right off the bat. Keep it simple. When I'm teaching people nutrition, I say, look, I eat the same thing for breakfast. I eat the same thing for lunch. I vary my dinners, right? And then my snacks. So maybe you just want to say, like, what kind of personality are you? You can teach people to keep it basic, like grill some chicken, put that in your red container, steam some green beans, that's your green, sweet potato, that's a yellow. That's a simple, easy meal, right? And so alternate between the fancy ones and then the basic ones so that people aren't getting overwhelmed because the first 3 weeks, it's just going to take them a while to get the hang of it, right? Think about yourself when you first started. It just takes a little bit of time to get used to those containers and how they work. So I wouldn't worry about getting bored. The first month is honestly going to be them figuring it out. Okay, so that's what I would do with people. But I don't think that they will get bored at all. And you can still use the 80-day obsession like food list, right? I don't know why it's a little shorter. I'm not sure why they did it that way, but you can use any of those food lists would be fine. Okay, but maybe for the rest of the group, it would be beneficial for us to touch on. My biggest objection has been price. So we kind of went through that a little bit. But price, again, what makes people commit? a few things. It takes people about 7 to 8 times of hearing the same thing over and over and over before it sticks. And I think and the one thing that really stuck with me is like, there was this, and this is how I think about it. So when we moved into this house, right, we needed new furniture. And so we sold our furniture, we moved into this house, and so we went furniture shopping. We went to every single furniture store around. We sat in every couch, we, sat at every kitchen table. We got, we told people what we were looking for. They took our names down, we got a business card, and we went home, and we weren't really serious about purchasing yet, right? We just weren't ready. We weren't 100% sure. Think about that. People are talking to you right now, and they're asking you, I'm interested, I want more information. But they're like me and Matt were. They're not really interested yet, right? They're just kind of curious what you're doing. And so what are people going to say to you? That's too expensive. I don't have time. That's bull crap, right? Most of the time that's bull crap. They just don't believe in it yet, right? Or they're just not ready. They're not at a point in their life where it's enough of a need and they need to make that decision. And so what happened was all of these furniture people started calling Matt and I never answered the phone. I let them all go to the answering machine, and I never answered the phone, right? I was that person. I ghosted all of those people, like 4 different people at 4 different furniture stores, right? And then I would get these like emails of sales, right, in my inbox. And it wasn't until we had researched all the different options and finally something in my inbox popped up and there was a sale. And I decided we needed furniture that day. And we went and we made that purchase. So it was just like it just needed to come to fruition. And you need to be that way with your business. So that's why social media is such a powerful tool. If people are giving you the price objection, it's just because they don't want it bad enough. I mean, people will go and buy a new iPhone and charge the dang thing, and they can't afford it, but they just need to have it. So you have to create that need to have it through through what you're putting out there and your conversations that you're talking to people. And so that's kind of on you to create that sort of that draw to your audience and show people why they need this in their life. And so that's just time and consistency. And that price objection will eventually become less and less and less the more that they see you living a happy life. They see you being more healthy. I mean, goodness gracious, when I take those old pictures of myself and put them next to myself, like I sell challenge packs because I had dull and like lackluster skin. I have a very like fake smile on. And now like there's a distinct difference in my physical like aura from those 2 photos. You can't deny it. That attracts people in. So you be that person that's like that light and is showing them how it works. Okay. All right. I have a couple of friends who like my post and want more information. And when I give them info, they don't respond. They say, I don't have the money and I'm too busy. Right. So Victoria, hopefully that helps on that front. That should really help you. Yep. Pinterest has great recipes, great tips. How would you handle someone saying in real life, oh, that Beachbody stuff? I always say those people are always trying to sell you shakes. Also feel weird telling people who ask when I'm out and about what I'm doing, like I'm a health and fitness coach, especially the people that are not on social media, they don't get it. Okay, so Jamie, when somebody says, oh, that Beachbody stuff, this is what I do. I go, what do you mean that Beachbody stuff? Like, have you tried it before? That's always the question that I have. Somebody once said to me, oh, you do that Beachbody thing? That's a pyramid scheme. And I was like, do you know what a pyramid scheme is? And they didn't. They actually had no idea. And then they like backpedaled because it was just like they blurted it. So most of the time people just don't have a very good answer, but it's the first thing they say. So just say, what do you mean? Oh, that Beachbody stuff. And so then I always say, like, did you have a bad experience with it before? And more often than not, people will say no, they've never tried it, or maybe they did have a bad experience. And so I always say, well, you know what? It's really working for me. And I finally found, and this is just the way I say it, like it works for me. It may not work for everybody, but I love it. And I tell people why I love it. I can work out from home. I don't love to go to the gym at all. Like I like to be at home. I love that it gives me a nutrition plan that I can follow. It really works for me. And so I just always come from that perspective of this is what works for me. And it really breaks that wall down for people pretty quickly. When people say like, oh, they're always trying to sell you shakes, And I always say, well, I'm going to be honest with you, right? I'm not going to ever push a shake on somebody, but I'm always going to share what has worked best for me. So if you were using, a hand lotion and it got rid of your dry, cracked hands, you would probably post that on Facebook and tell everybody about the product, right? So I'm going to tell people about the product that really helped me to get my nutrition in check, that helped my IBS significantly, that is boosting my immune system, especially when we're like in this germ infested season of the year. I'm going to tell people about it. So yeah, I do sell a product, but I'm never going to push it on somebody. I'm going to tell them what works for me, and I will always let people decide whether or not they want to do it. And then I do usually say, oh yeah, there are definitely people that do it wrong. Like there are definitely people out there that are just out to sell you, but that's not me. I genuinely am here to help. Like that. And so that takes practice. Like that, you come into that with confidence to know that you're never selling something that you don't believe in and that you know doesn't work. And so do not back down when it comes to that. Like I want you to be confident in the fact that you are promoting something that you believe in. And if you feel anxious or you get sort of nervous, I want you to take a good look at yourself and say, do I believe in what I'm doing? Because if I don't believe in the product and the program, maybe this isn't the right opportunity for me, right? Because you can't ever promote something that you don't believe in yourself. And that's really what makes influencers successful, is the belief in what they're doing. All right. Okay. And people that are on social media. So when somebody asks me what I do, I'm like, have you ever heard of Beachbody? I'm like, I'm a health and fitness coach. I partner with a company called Beachbody. I help people reach their health and fitness goals through my online accountability and support groups that I run. That's how I explain what I do. All right. Okay. You're welcome. How do you explain Shakeology? So when somebody asks me what is Shakeology, remember, not a diet, not a weight loss, not a protein shake. Do not say those three things, okay? Because it's not any of those things. Because then somebody's going to say, yeah, I get my protein from, GNC, or yeah, I drink that isogenic shake. It is not the same. All right, it is not the same. And if somebody tries to say, I drink something similar that has all the same ingredients but cheaper, they do not. All right, and here's the reason. And hopefully you listened to the National Wake Up Call today, where they talked about Shakeology. But like, our company does all of this research to make sure that our ingredients and our products are, they are what they say they are. And in the supplement world, and this is something that I've learned through just, taking a lot of trainings and a lot of courses, is in the supplement world, they can say something, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's exactly the quality of what's in there. And so Shakeology really gives you that guarantee. Yep, you've got to hire a little higher price point, but what you're getting actually is going to be absorbed into your body the correct way. And it's going to give you what your body needs. So when I explain what Shakeology is, I say that it is a superfood shake. You replace one meal or snack a day with Shakeology. It is honestly my daily multivitamin, right? So for me, it's whatever meal I have the hardest time, whether it's my meal, it's a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or a snack. It has the right carb to protein ratio to make up a complete meal, to give you sustained energy, right? And it tastes really good. And it fills me up. It keeps me full for about 2.5 to 3 hours is what I typically say. And that's how I explain it, right? You can go into more if you want. Like I will say to people, like it really significantly helped me with my IBS, the pre and probiotics and the fiber just really helped my digestive tract. It's made a big difference in my hair, my skin, and my nails. It's really boosted my immune system. It's a great daily addition to what I'm already eating and the clean foods. And I've been drinking it for 7.5 years. And I look at it like, this is a vitamin I take every day. That's the way I approach Shakeology. So if you can really talk about it in that format too. All right. Because you do pigeonhole yourself if you just talk about weight loss, because not everybody's looking for weight loss. I mean, you can be trying to gain weight and drink Shakeology. You just add more to it to give it more calories, but you still have a good base, a base that has a lot of great nutrition to it. All right. Other objections that you guys are getting. So here's the thing. You know how I became confident in handling objections? Is I had a heck of a lot of conversations. Because every conversation I had, I was able to kind of take a step back, and I was able to say, okay, I gave too much information. I didn't give a clear call to action. You know, I didn't end with a question, and I learned what the right things were to say. And I started copying and pasting snippets for myself. Like I would keep them in a Word document or, you know, a notes section of my phone. And I got really good at explaining what a challenge group was, what Shakeology was, you know, over time. So the more conversations you have, the better you're going to get at it. All right. So really want you to, and just always read things back to yourself and say, do I sound like I'm selling? Am I asking enough questions about the person? Am I just jumping to the bottom line because I'm trying to get to a sale? Like, make sure you're asking some questions before you're just jumping to the end result. Okay, yeah, the Isogenics person that wanted to join my group, I just simply said to her, number one, I never try to argue why Shakeology is better than Isogenics. I always say, I don't know what's in Isogenic. I've never drank it before, but I can tell you this is what I believe in, right? And this is the product that I use, this, and you know, and that's the way I leave it. I don't go out there and do research. I never want to fight with somebody about what's better than the other. I just say, this is what you need to join my group, because these are the tools that I use to teach my people. And so if you want to be a part of my group, this is what you need. And that person, she bought a challenge pack this morning. All right. She bought it. She didn't. I was like, you can't use your you can use your Isogenics, make it your snack in the afternoon or something, but you have to buy the challenge pack with Shakeology. That's what I said. So she wants to be in my group. And I'm confident in that because holy heck, we put a lot of time and energy into these groups. So like you want to get compensated for your work, right? So I make sure that I require it. Unless somebody has an allergy, then that's a different story. Okay, so last two things, and then I'm going to let you go. How do you tell a person to create their free account before you tell them all the info on Shakeology? So when I'm talking to somebody and they're like, I'm definitely interested, you know, you can say to them like, okay, go create a free account. Here's the link to set up a free account. This makes me your official coach, right? But when I'm talking to somebody, Shakeology is just a part of the challenge pack, right? So when I go and I'm like, okay, you want to do this challenge group? Okay, tell me your goals. Perfect. Okay, this group would be perfect for you because insert their goal. I'm going to help them address their goal. And then I say, here's what you're going to need to purchase in order to be a part of this group. You're going to get what's called a challenge pack. It comes with a year subscription of Beachbody On Demand, comes with 30 days of Shakeology. It comes with access to my support and accountability group, the nutrition plan, the program manual. Here's your link to purchase. That's it. That's all I do, right? I don't go into this lengthy, like, here's what Shakeology. I don't over-explain myself, right? It's very simple. Give them the directions. I don't even ask people to make me their free coach until we get to the point where I'm sending them the link because they're going to do it in the process. Or when you send them a share cart, it's going to trigger them to change their coach right in there anyway. So there's no need to go through all those extra steps. Just get them the share cart link so they can get signed up. All right. That'll actually cut out that step altogether. Okay. Challenge group guides. So for those of you, if you go to, how many of you have seen in the Coach Online office where all the challenge group guides are? Does everybody know where those are? So they're all in there. Perfect. So all your challenge group guides, but then also if you're in, we have two places you can log into our coach training. If you're my personally sponsored coach, right, I have that Facebook group, which is exactly the same as the one that I do on Kajabi, but I have all of my challenge group guides listed in there. So I, over the course of all of the years, have gone through and I've made so many different challenge group guides from things that I've done. They're just Google Docs and I give all of that to you. So if you go in there and you go to, I'm looking to see what section it's in there. Let's see, objections, participant, there's all that stuff on the challenge tracker app. Challenge group guides. So it's under getting ready if you're in Kajabi and it's under challenge group guides. If you click on that, you can see a 7-day guide, a 30-day guide, a 21-day fix, 6-week challenge group guide, 90-day challenge group guide, all sorts of stuff, right? All kinds of things in there. And then I have even more that are in that Facebook group as well. So it is, where do you find the recording of this? Oh, I will share it. So guys, I always post the recording. It goes out as an email. So you get an email from me with the recording, plus I post it in the Facebook group, and it gets added into, and I'm going to show you exactly where it is. Hang on. You should be able to see this. All right. So if you're in the Coach University, right? So if we go over here and we're looking at the main screen and we scroll down through here, you see where it says getting started, right? So this is your prep tasks. Then you've got your launching your business, and then you have about challenge groups. You have inviting, you have social media, planning your post, Instagram, challenge groups, getting ready right here, challenge group guides. There you go. Tons and tons of guides in there that you can check out. There's some scripts about the conversation. So make this sort of like, as you need stuff, you just go over and find it, right? You go, you find it, you go back. Like, you don't need to watch every single thing before you actually start your business. All right. You can, but there's tons of stuff. Look, Shakeology, also educate yourself, all kinds of things. And then at the very bottom, part 8 is call recordings. So here's all of the call recordings so far to date. Here is last week's. There's the first one. These two are older ones, but these are the ones from our series so far this month. And then the same thing goes for the Facebook group as well. When you're in the Facebook group, you see where you're on units, and it's all here as well. You've got your prep tasks. You have launching your business using social media, earning an income, rocking your business, right? Time management, success, resources, all kind of challenge group responses, challenge group guides right there. Okay. And then you've got all of your challenge group guides that are listed in here too. Same exact thing. So you've got both places that you can go and you can get all the information that you guys need. All right. Okay. So that should give you lots and lots of help. Good. Anything else you can think of? All right. So we got 2 weeks left in the month. Every one of you will get 3 people to sign up, and you're going to hit Success Club. All right. Like that. I believe in you. You can do this. It's not hard. 3 people, 30 invites. You can do this. All right. 1 out of every 10 typically says yes. You'll get better at your conversations. Actually, the first month might take a little bit more because you're just getting started, right? You're not quite, you don't have it down to a good science yet. Tracker, about a handful of people turned in their trackers to me last week. So if you did not, I want you to complete that sucker. All right. I want you to send it over. I want you guys to give me a weekly update on where you're at in your business, what things are tripping you up, and make sure you participate. Like, make sure you participate in things that we do as a team. I sent out an email to my personally sponsored coaches last week saying, hey guys, I got this group message thread that I'm doing. So if you're not a part of that, you can be a part of that too. If you're one of my personally sponsored coaches, check your inbox. I send you guys at least 4 or 5 emails a week. So you should be getting my stuff. And every Sunday, I send my personally sponsored coaches a weekly coach email too that kind of outlines what's going on for the week. So everybody, if you're not getting it, check your junk email. It's whatever email you used when you signed up as a Beachbody coach is what my emails are going to for you guys. All right. Okay, my friends. That's all I got. I hope you have a wonderful day. Go get to work. Enjoy your wonderful work session, and I will see you guys back here. I won't see you next week. I'm going to be on the Beachbody trip, the cruise. So we will have a call. It just won't be me. It'll be another leader. A couple of our coaches just had babies and can't go. So you'll get to hear from another leader on our team next week. Okay. All right, guys. I will see you guys later. Take care. Bye, everybody.